Welcome to another Warhammer Fantasy Battle Report. This is my second 8th edition game that I'm playing. It's the first one that I'm actually making a report from. The first game I played, I got so frustrated halfway through it that I about threw my camera across the room. So that game wasn't finished with pictures, and I didn't make a report from it. So this is like I said, my second game. It's my opponent's first game with it, and obviously, just if you look at the tabletop, there's just a lot more terrain than there usually is, and we tried to generate this just the way it says in the book, randomly determining where it is, and then we didn't really place it going back and forth like you're supposed to. We kind of I let my son set it up, and there was some randomness involved and some trying to make common sense, like putting buildings together. But for the most part, the magical or mystery parts of the terrain didn't really come into effect. Like that woods in the upper right we found out gave that unit fear as long as it was in it, but it's not really going to affect anything. And there's a couple other pieces on the board that had effects, but it didn't really impact the game at all. So he's got, going from right to left, some orcs with 2 choppas, night goblins with spears, and I found out later he has 3 fanatics in there. He's got some more orcs. These have two choppas. He's got a unit of black orcs and his generals in there, and the unit on the right is his battle standard bearer with the white battle standard is there. He also has a shaman somewhere to the right that I passed up to. I'm kind of missing his characters, but that's what he has. He has one level 2 shaman, a battle standard bearer, and his general. And then to the left of his general's unit in that building, we consider that a 3-part building, so up to 3 units could occupy it. It's just that one of them would have to be kind of back towards his table edge. So he's got orcs with hand weapon shield. He's got some goblins with bows, wolf riders, 2 spear chuckas, stone thrower, and another unit of wolf riders. And one thing I'll say before I forget is the stone throwers. My trebuchets are incredibly effective in this 8th edition. Stone throwers not so much if you try to use them against knights, because they're only strength 3 and I get my armor save. And I think he spent several turns targeting my knights like he normally would have in 7th edition, and I was just saving everything. And so, lesson number 1 with stone throwers, especially with the strength 3, strength 9 thing, is they're probably pretty good against infantry or things without a great armor save, but they're no longer good against cavalry. So those are not 2 men-at-arms units. That's 1 big unit. There's actually 38 of them in there with halberds. I've got a level 2 damsel in the front left corner of it. She's got the lore of beasts. And through a lot of this game, she gave that unit, sometimes another unit, but usually that unit, she's able to give them +1 strength, +1 toughness. And so that unit was pretty formidable. My battle standard bearer is equipped to stay alive. He wasn't designed to go in that unit. He's supposed to be with the Knights of the Realm behind him, but they wouldn't. If he joined them, that would put one of their models off the board. So I put him with men-at-arms, and I'll move him back next turn. My general, the battle standard bearer is built just to stay alive. He's got, using 2 items from the new rule book, he's got a 2+ rerollable armor save, and that's all I put him. There's no magic banner, no virtue, nothing like that. So he's just, survive and give rerolls. My general is the Green Knight on the left. I'm not using him as the Green Knight. That's just the model I'm using. He's using the Grommel Great Helm, has a 1-up rerollable armor save, and using an item from the main rule book, he's stubborn. So he and any unit he's with is stubborn 9, and with the battle standard bearer around, that's stubborn 9 rerollable. So I give him the questing vow, so he might go with the questing knights. He might go with this unit. But wherever he goes, he gives him stubborn 9 rerollable. And so, so far, I like the flexibility that gives me. So anyway, go with a huge block of 12. It feels huge. 12 Knights Errant with the Errantry banner, so they have a +1 strength in the charge. I've got a trebuchet. Kind of standing with their front in the river is a 12-man or 11-man unit of questing knights with a level 2 damsel with them. My Grow Relique lower left-hand corner, that's actually not a Grow Relique. I'm using that as a trebuchet. They're so effective, I'm going to take 2 for a while, but I don't want to buy 1 until I'm certain that I'm going to play a lot of my list with them. If anything, they're almost too cheesy. They're just so effective. And then to the left of them, I've got a unit of 15 archers with defensive stakes, full command minus the champion. So So, and this is a 2,000 point game. So before turn 1, his fast cav on the left moves up, and then we move to turn 1, and his fast cav moves around my flank. Otherwise, in his movement, you see he just moves up. With all that terrain, he really is kind of getting bottlenecked in there a little bit. Other than that, really not a whole lot happening. I don't remember, because this is several days ago, I don't remember how this happened, but you know, through magic or shooting, whatever, he kills 5 men-at-arms. My philosophy is that if he's targeting them, then he is not targeting my knights. So very happy with that. On my turn, I move up. The stream makes it so you can't march through it, so both my knight units just walked up. They didn't march, and I'm okay with that. I don't need him to declare a WA and get a charge into them. Yeah, another look at the board. Don't know why that picture's in there. Here on the left, using the Quest Knight's leadership, I tried to do a swift reform with those archers. That means I could have reformed, and then I still could have moved, or I could have shot at those wolf riders. But on the leadership 8, they failed it. So I went ahead and reformed, but I wasn't able to shoot the fast cav. And I think that's a good strategy. I'm looking forward to using it. I think most times I will pass that leadership test, and that means when fast cav try to flank me, it's going to be pretty difficult for them too. So, Orcs and Goblins turn 2. Night Goblins move up. They come within 8 inches of my men-at-arms and release their 3 fanatics. And his rolling was just miserable. If you look where they ended up just barely short of my men-at-arms, especially those 2. And the other ones he sent at my knights, and they didn't go anywhere either. So that didn't help much. You can see otherwise how he moved up. If you look at the yellow token on my questing knights, that means that they got the beast spell on him that gives them +1 strength, +1 toughness. And I did that because I figured he'd be targeting them, so I'm just trying to beef them up a little bit. Yeah, there's another look at his unlucky fanatics. So my Grell Relique designed trebuchet is facing this way because it misfired on turn 1, and he decided not to charge with his fast cav just to bring him around. I'm assuming he did that so we had options of who to charge. Otherwise, that's what's going on. Despite my giving him toughness 4, 2 of these guys die, which is expensive but not the end of the world. So we go to Brett turn 2, and it's funny, the way the game plays now, first off, I felt really lucky that all 3 units made it into combat. My general charged out of the men-at-arms unit, Knights Errant, Quest Knights, everybody declared to charge. That's against his black Orcs unit with his general. So if I can take this unit out, if I can beat him in combat, make him run, I should be able to run him down, and that's a huge chunk of points of his off the board, and he'll be in a world of hurt. If I fluff everything, if he gets a lucky roll, if he snake eyes it, his battle standard bearers around, if anything like that happens, that's the game, because I'm stuck out there and he's going to get 2 flank charges and I'm just toast. So it feels like, especially with Bretonnians, a lot of times it just comes down to that. But anyway, I have, with the Knights Errant, I have right now 3 extra ranks, and so unless I totally fluff my attacks, he won't be stubborn. So that's the big thing I had going for me, and that's a big reason why I took all those guys in there. I just had to make sure that I had more ranks than him so he didn't get stubborn rerollable and hang my guys up to dry. Here's another view of the board. And my generals took a magic weapon from the new rule book that says for every character in base contact with him or his unit, he gets +1 attack, +1 strength. And so charging in alone, he doesn't get any of those benefits. So I declare a challenge, and if he accepts with his general, then I'll be 5 attack, strength 5. And if he doesn't, I'll be 4 attack, strength 4. So I use that a couple games. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of it. I'll probably switch it out. So here, I tried to swift reform those archers again. I failed the leadership test. So instead of facing the wolves, I just faced to the side. My thinking was if he charges the wolves into their flank, I think I'll be stubborn and have a decent chance of sticking around in combat and eventually beating him maybe. If he charges a trebuchet and beats him in overruns, then my archers will be facing him. That's actually a mistake, understanding the new rules, because when the wolf riders charge that trebuchet, they just have to wheel a tiny bit, or probably not even at all. As soon as they touch it, there's no more wheeling, so they will still be facing my archers, and if they beat it in combat, they can overrun into the flank of my archers. So not a big deal, but it's nice to understand how that works when things charge trebuchets. So, and here's the last picture from the from part 1 of this battle report. This is what all hangs on right here. It's all my points and knights, my general, everybody going after his most expensive unit with his general. I've got to beat him. I've got to roll high and get out of the charge arc of his units. And if so, I'm doing well, and if not, I'm in a world of hurt. So we'll see how that goes in the next turn.